pleasure to have you in our city. You have been to Calcutta quite a few times in the last couple of years. You shot portions of Sambhar here. You were here for the Durand Cup, and then you've chosen Calcutta to be the first city in which you're promoting the film. What have you discovered about the city, and what has struck you about the city the most in the last few times that you've been here?
I think the last 1 year, the number of times I've gotten to be in Kolkata is the most number of times I've been in Kolkata. Firstly, like you said, it was for the shoot, and then for the Durand Cup, and now for the promotions. And I love coming to Kolkata, firstly because I just like, however, like I'm not being able to, unfortunately, indulge myself in the food over here, but I just love it. I could indulge myself during the shoot. During the shoot, I really could, but abhi nahi ho pa raha. But I just love coming here because there's so much culture, there's so much character to the city. The people are just so sweet, and they're very cooperative also. Like, when we were shooting or when I had come for Durand Cup, they were just so cooperative. They just like welcome you with their hearts open, and you do feel like coming here again and again. And it's my wish actually to just, there's this, I don't know, there's no genre in my mind, but I want to shoot a film here when it's raining in Kolkata. It's just like, the Kolkata rains, there's something, like you said, there's something romantic about it. There's an old school vibe to it, which there's nostalgia to it, and I just want to be
Football film in the rains.
That'll be fantastic. That'll be fantastic. Then next time you'll have to make like a football cake also. Right now it's cricket lover.
I think because of the World Cup, it's still very immediate. That's why.
But what a match that was.
Yeah,
The semis,
I know, amazing. But but when you were here for Sam Bahadur, you didn't have to kind of follow a diet and stuff.
It was, but itna मतलब hardcore नहीं था जितना अब है. Right now it's a little bit more, but tab I could kind of indulge myself in the biryanis, indulge myself in the क्या कहते हैं chop. Yeah, so all of that I enjoyed last time, and my favorite is that what do you call that ice cream?
That's very typical.
Oh, that's my most favorite ice cream in the world. My most favorite flavor also.
Yeah.
But yeah, last time I got to enjoy, but in like moderation. I couldn't like properly just keep eating, but yeah.
But not letting go at all today.
Can't, yeah. I wish I could.
Okay, coming back to films, obviously you've perfected Sam Bahadur's body language, the way you're speaking and also that gait.
Yeah.
Tell us what kind of effort went into it?
There was a lot of R&D that went into that. Firstly, when me and Meghna actually sat to start prepping for the part that, okay, we're going to start shooting in 3 months. Now let's sit together and let's start from scratch. So the idea was to start from scratch. Of course, I had heard stories from my parents. I had heard stories from Meghna. I had read the script, but I was like, you know what, let me empty this vessel. Let me just start from I don't know anything. And now let's fill it up, step by step, brick by brick. So then what we would do is we would meet up at RSVP office every day, and we would sit together for about 5-6 hours every day, no days off. And we would just jam on the script, we would watch his interviews, read books on him together, Google his stories out, everything, meet his family. I met his grandson, spent time with his grandson, his daughter, so a lot of anecdotes from them. And just then, step by step, after we could, the tricky part was that all his interviews he had given after he was retired, and after he was like 75 years old, 80 years old, while I had to play the age group of like 20 to 60.
Right. So how did you refer to his younger age?
So we kept watching his interviews again and again, and in those interviews, firstly I started writing down what he was saying as a script, and then I would try and kind of talk like him. It started with trying to mimic him, the way he would talk, but I knew that that's at the age of 80. I don't have to talk like that. So then started the process of decoding that, okay, how he would talk if he was 40 years younger, 50 years younger than that. And somewhere like we had a dialect coach, we had Meghna and everybody, we would just jam in a room together and keep talking, where it was just very important for me to not sound like myself, not walk like myself. Nothing had to look like Vicky Kaushal or feel like Vicky Kaushal. So I would just keep walking in the office and try and get that walk right, and I would just keep talking like him, and wherever Meghna felt, nahi, this is sounding like you. So we would mark down those words, that what are those alphabets where it's more sounding more like me and than him. And he had a very anglicized way of speaking, like a very British clipped English, and where we, because it's a Hindi film, we couldn't keep like an English kind of dialogues throughout, but उसी को फिर वो हिंदी में कैसे बात करेंगे, so that also had to be cracked. But it was a process of just meeting every day and doing almost like a musician does a riyaz every day. तो वैसे था कि रोज हमें मिलना है and we have to sit for 4-5 hours and just keep doing it again and again, so that by the time we reach on set, it just becomes second nature. Then we are not working on how do we talk or how do we walk. That you know very well. Now we'll just focus on the emotion. Yeah. But for an army film, always the homework has to be strong. But then if it's an army film and that too based on Sam Manek show, you better come with like your socks pulled and your ammunition ready.
But were you like, did you kind of start sort of talking like that? A little bit of...
No, my body language actually, there was no pack up and off time. Like, I would come back home and I realized it a little into the shoot that, okay, now I've just started sitting and walking like him. Like, बीच में मुझे याद है कि while we were shooting for Sam, there was a gap that we had, and I had to shoot for a song for Zara Hatke Zara Bachke. And yeah, so उसमें बीच में Lakshman sir would come to me and say कि sir ये थोड़ा posture and then I would realize कि oh अच्छा, because I would in that also Zara Hatke also I'm walking unconsciously, like Sam had the habit of always having his leg crossed and hands like this. So I just forgot how to sit like this, because every time I would sit behind a monitor, everywhere I would sit like this. तो वो होता था, but you like that also, you enjoy that also, कि you feel कि अच्छा ठीक है, now you're on autopilot, and that's the best phase for an actor also, कि अच्छा यार ये अब autopilot पे गाड़ी चल रही है, now we'll just enjoy the emotions of the film.
I can almost imagine like Sam Manek show doing Tere Vaste.
Imagine.
So talking about homework again, you did Uri earlier. So there was a lot of training involved in Uri as well.
Yeah.
So did that training come handy in this?
There are a lot of things that I got to experience in Uri that came in handy and will always come in handy when I'm kind of playing, I'm a part of a film which is based on the armed forces, because firstly I got to know their character, the way they function, their etiquettes, and the conduct of a military personnel. तो वो मुझे काफी पता लगा, because during the shoot and after the shoot of Uri, I got to interact with a lot of army officials. That was my biggest help. So at least I got to know that, okay, there's a hierarchy to it, the designations, the ranks, and how does a junior talk to a senior, what's the code of conduct between each and every one of them. So all those basics were cleared. And then of course for Sam there was another kind of research involved, because it was not more so physical, because Uri was physical, it was an operation based film. But this was more on the state of mind of a man, his journey, his legacy, his glory, and his character, like his courage, his leadership qualities, his clarity of thoughts, what made Sam the legend that he was. So over here it was more so that because in Uri I was playing a major. Here I have to go till the rank of a field marshal. That is like covering second lieutenant to field marshal is like the entire army. So what happens in every rank? What are the duties of every rank? What are the do's and don'ts? Everything I had to study and read, like almost like a textbook study also, that okay ये rank पे ये duties होती है, ये rank पे ये duties होती हैं, फिर यहाँ पे ऐसे आपको rank मिलता है. This is the way you progress, and what is an army commander, what is a GOC in C, everything. So all of that, it was more theoretical study, and Uri was more like a practical physical study. But over here it was more research oriented. Yeah.
Also, speaking of Uri and Sam Bahadur, you've now done a couple of films based on army, patriotism in the country. So do you find yourself naturally drawn to such subjects?
I think so. I do think so. I feel I'm naturally drawn to subjects which depict homegrown heroes. the heroes that we've had in our own land, real heroes, which I feel, every generation, the youth should be aware of, at least. Only if they're aware of them, they know of them, is when they can celebrate them. And I think, जैसे बाहर मार्वल पे बनते हैं ये we have our own so many superheroes. Like if you just open up history books, we are full of, because our land has gone through so much conflict and so much struggle and so much of, like, there's been a evolution of India as a country. And because of that, communities and people in general, they've gone through, like, they've been there's a plethora of heroic stories, male and female both. So I think if we just dig deep now, it's just fascinating. I find that fascinating as an audience also, that when I get to see stories where I get to kind of just be educated and entertained about heroes that really existed. And somewhere there's a thought that stays with me, that yaar, kahin na kahin, the nice things that we enjoy today, somebody had paid a price for it. Somebody had done something so that a generation after him or two generations after him could reap the benefits. So that I feel, I feel drawn as an audience also to watch those films, but as an actor also I feel कि यार चलो ठीक है, काम के जरिए I'm getting to do something something meaningful also. Yeah.
So, like, the film tells the story of a time in India's history, which is just 50 years ago.
Yeah.
So, do you think there are lessons in these stories which need to be known by today's audience?
I think when you're talking about a person like Sam Manekshaw, because of, like I said, it's a story about his character, and then you see a nation building around him, because he was serving for 40 years, pre-independence, post-independence. So it was his growth, but also the growth of a country with him. So I feel that when a character like Sam Bahadur is just timeless, because those values, those human values are timeless. The charm that he had, the humor that he had, the wit that he had, of course the courage and the strength that he had, everything combined together. If we get to just learn, and like Meghna, in our first meeting about Sam, she said they don't make men like him anymore. And once I got to know him, once I got to play him, I totally agree with that. And I till date, every day of my life, there are so many moments where I get stuck in a situation, and there's one thought that goes ki, what would Sam sir would have done? वो क्या करते? How would he have reacted to the situation? Like he was known for his decision making skills. So that when you know of a man like him, you've played that man, I'm aware of his story now, it gives you strength कि यार, just be strong to make a decision. So I feel when you're playing a character like that and you bring forward a story of this character, it is timeless in its nature. And of course, there will always be something to learn from his journey.
Sam Manekshaw, as we see, at least from the trailer, and I'm sure in the film, is a person who doesn't brook any nonsense. Like, he says it as it is. He's very direct. He's very strong in his beliefs and what he feels should be the right way of doing things. Even to authority, he speaks to authority. Are you like him in any way, even if you don't say things in the semi-direct, harsh way that he does?
I wish I was. Nowhere close to him. I'm just nowhere close to him. The thing is, it was not just about being frank and calling a spade a spade. He was just doing it in a way that the other person would still be floored by the charm. That's the difference. It's not just like मैं करूँगा तो वो बहुत harsh लगता है कभी या कुछ. It's like, it's the human form of that वो चुभती है बात. When he used to do, there was some kind of gravitas to it plus wit to it, that you got the point but you were never offended by it. The person who was receiving that wit. So that I feel is also, now having interacted with the Parsi community, I feel it's a very Parsi thing also. It's inherent in them also, that wit and the humor. Whenever they are outspoken, frank. Like, I was so nervous when we had to show the film to his family, because I was like, yaar, these are all like Parsi family. They are, and if you meet his daughter, his grandson, they are frank people. They will, like, if they don't like it, they will just come out and say, yaar, बेइज्जती करा दी. So I was just very happy that they were moved to tears, and they were happy tears after the screening. But I was very nervous because of that nature, and every one of them has something about like something of Sam in them. I wish there was some similarity, but I try and like I'm on that path that I'm on a quest to kind of learn from him and kind of try and be like him.
So you've interacted a lot with the Indian Army over the
Yeah.
period
Yes,
of,
yeah.
especially during filming Sam Maneksha's role. So what did you learn from that? Any big learning which you could take away from?
I'm a big fan of their composure, actually. When I meet them and when it's the way they conduct themselves, it's the way they talk, the very little things, it's the way they talk, the way they conduct, their punctuality. Like, and we especially like in the film world when we say कि हाँ यार, our interview will start at 11. वो ठीक है, 11:15 is a given. Over there 11:02 is also not a given. It's 11, that means 11 we are ready. Probably 10:55 we are ready, and then 11 the work starts. That I'm a big fan of. Like whenever we have an event or anything to do with like the army, like after this I have to go to the cant, I know it's going to be clockwork. Like because they're going to be like 11:03 you'll be here, 12:05 you'll be there. So it's like that, and I'm a huge fan of that. Like I have gotten to spend a lot of time in cants now. Before we started filming, I stayed for like 4 days in an army cant in Pune, and I spent time with them, and they were very sweet. They didn't treat me as a visitor. They treat me as the youngest cadet who's there at the cant is called the baby of the unit.
Okay.
So they made me the baby of the unit for 4 days. And so they were very sweet, but they would come to my room at 5 a.m. ki chal. And they would make me run for 3 kilometers, then come back, you have to do this. So everything that they were doing, they made me do. And so I just love, when I'm spending time in the canteen, I feel कि यार ये है civilized way of living, like ये है तरीके से रहना. Then you feel that everything outside this gate is chaotic. There's no system. But when you're in that army regime,
Like discipline.
You feel there's discipline, and you feel that there's everything is organized.
Right.
And that it's a different world, it's a different lifestyle altogether. And it is not just ki whoever's wearing a uniform is like that. Everybody in the whole system, the people who are working there as staff members, their families, children, everybody just gets dissolved into that whole system, and that ecosystem is like proper, and I love that, and I really admire that.
Talking about being disciplined and organized, personally on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate yourself as a disciplined or a organized person? Okay.
6 and a 7.
6 and a 7.
Yeah, like I'm above 50%.
Right.
Not below that. But I would say I have good days and bad days.
Right.
But the worst would be 6. 9 on 10 if it's about like I have to do something for my role, and I have to wake up at 5, sleep at 9, eat this. Ye ho sakta hai, these are the do's and don'ts, and then I will stick to it. That way I'm a 9 on 10. But if I'm traveling and I have a suitcase, and if I go back home, for the next 15 days, that suitcase is my closet. There is nothing, I am not unpacking, I am not वापस अच्छा कपड़े ये कर दो, washing में जाएंगे. That is my closet for the next. Now I'll be promoting. I'm living out of a suitcase, which I will live out of a suitcase.
Right.
There is no unpacking and packing.
Right.
Every hotel I'll go to, ये laundry जा रहा है, ये आ रहा है, and those clothes are getting repeated.
Right. So did you make any lifestyle changes also for the movie? Like
No, see the thing is when you're shooting for a film, it just gets so hectic that your life is really on the backbench. Because you literally wake up, like especially when we were in Kolkata, I was so surprised how early the sunrise happens. Exactly.
Yes.
So I was like, yaar, पौने 5 बजे.
4:30.
It's set at 4 o'clock.
4:30, 4:45 will be dark.
It will be dusk, yeah.
बता देना college में.
वो है arrangements are there.
No, so I was so surprised because 4:45 there was sunrise happening and we had to go to Barakpur. So we would wake up at 2:30. मैंने कहा ये तो सोने का टाइम है मेरे कभी-कभी. 2:30 we would wake up and get ready and गाड़ी में जा रहे हैं और फिर वहाँ पहुँच के अंधेरे में रेडी होके and 4:30 it's bright. I'm like ये क्या चल रहा है? So What was the question? Sorry, ma'am.
The lifestyle changes. Like
Yes, lifestyle. No, so during shoot, you don't really get to live a life for yourself or by yourself to kind of have a kind of lifestyle for yourself. It's always like regimented कि चाहिए film का क्या schedule है. So you wake up according to the time of the call time. You sleep when you're done with the shoot because there's no energy left, and you're working for like 15 hours, 16 hours, travel time. So you really don't get any time for yourself apart from just the few hours of sleep that you get. That's it. But otherwise, yes, it's always like if at all you have to have a lifestyle, it's always oriented towards what the film requires you to do.
Right.
That's always the case.
Right. So in today, say if we give you a situation where Sam meets Vihan Shargil of Uri,
Wow.
what do you think they will tell each other?
I don't think Major Vihan Singh Shergill will be able to.
Hopefully not House of Joshi.
Not at all. Not at all. I think, see, the thing is, I think he'll be as big a fan as I am of Sam Bahadur, and he'll also be, at a loss of words and in awe, and he'll probably give the crispiest salute to him because any person, I'm talking about like family members also. So army officials, to chhodi do, like they're literally raised with stories about Sam Manekshaw. And like once, like I remember when we had announced that like we are making a film on Sam Manekshaw, I would get pictures of people who have taken just autographs of Sam Manekshaw, and they would send ki yaar, see, this is my autograph. Like there's an orthopedic doctor, very senior orthopedic doctor in Mumbai. His father had met Sam Manekshaw. He sent me that picture. That's my father who met Sam Manekshaw. So if I think Major Vihan Singh Sehgal would meet him, I think he'll be at a loss of words. He'll be speechless, and he'll just be like wanting to hear stories out of him and just like kind of get inspiration in real time. They've gotten inspiration in books. They've gotten inspiration in stories, his speeches at the academy. But I think this time he would just be silent and just get inspired, like being in awe of him.
Nice. Also, Vicky, you've done like some really career-defining films very early on in your career. So, where does Sam Bahadur fit in that?
Oh.
Since in an earlier interview, you've told you were very excited as well as very nervous about this film.
I was. I think this Sam Bahadur has to be the toughest role I've gotten to play, just because of the sheer responsibility of playing that character, and also the work that went in, not just by myself but the entire team. And I have to take Meghna's name over here, because I am so glad that it was Meghna who was the captain of the ship of this film, because she is like वो जो class का सबसे पढ़ाकू अच्छा बच्चा नहीं होता, she is like that, who has to do her homework correct. Otherwise, like she'll be more nervous, like she'll be like she'll feel so guilty. So and plus when you're doing an army film and a film like Manekshaw, you have to be like very meticulous and thorough, and she's 100 times of that. So she will be very particular about each and every badge, medal, uniform, button, shoelace, everything, haircut, mooch kaisi hai, everything. So because you have a team surrounded around you like that, who's so particular about the little details so that everything looks very genuine, you get like, you feel कि हाँ यार ठीक है, अगर मैं अपना काम सही करूँगा, everything together will make it look even better. So that way I feel very fortunate कि Sam Bahadur was made by this team, produced by Ronnie Screwvala, who was like really like hands-on with the project, and I feel, to answer your question, I feel it's right up there in terms of the kind of opportunity this is for me. And this is one, like I just feel like, of course I've gotten a few films where I can be very proud of saying this to my family or the future generation कि यार ऐसी भी film करने का मौका मिला था, irrespective of what happens to the film. Sam will be right at the top of that list कि यार there was a man like Sam Bahadur, and I was the actor who got to play him. Yeah.
So, we always, people in general think that a war film or a film on strife, although I know that this is a biopic, but I know that it would have also concentrated a lot on the 1971 liberation, Bangladesh Liberation War. People think that women normally don't direct war films, but we've had Catherine Bigelow doing Hurt Locker, Zero Dark 30, we've had Angelina Jolie doing Unbroken. You've spoken about the dedication and the homework that Meghna brought into this as a whole and individually, but what is it about this film that is very uniquely her voice, you think?
I'll tell you what, there's an interview of Sam Manekshaw where his grandson is interviewing him. And he asked him that what do you think according to you is your biggest achievement in your whole career? And he said, from second lieutenant to field marshal, in my whole career, 40 years of being an army official, I have never punished a man. And that compassion, that heart, is, I feel, what Meghna brings to an army film, to a war film, or to a biopic, or whatever that term is, which is apt for this film. That compassion is what Meghna got to that character. And that was very important, because in the whole of how he would walk and how he would talk, and of course the strength is there, the dialogues are great because he actually said those larger than life dialogues. I was in every frame and every shot trying to find that heart, that where this guy who had all the strength, like he was the army chief, but he had that heart in him to understand the pain of the other person, that even if he's made a mistake, of course the discipline should be there, but let me just give him a benefit of doubt. He's serving the nation. That heart I was always trying to find, because that is what made him special. And Meghna, I think, really in every scene, in every look, like the way she would direct me also, I felt like she was only concentrating on that warm heart of Sam Manekshaw.
That's so nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Just coming back to your films, like, you've obviously done different kinds of films, from The Clean Shaven Boy in Masan to the blue-haired DJ in Man Marzia, and now obviously this. So how does costume and makeup and, like, the prosthetics aid in slipping into the character?
It helps me a lot. The geography helps me a lot, location helps me a lot, and what I'm wearing, how I'm looking, that really helps me personally a lot. Like when you wear a costume, like for example for Sam Manekshaw, I would do this as a ritual when I would be getting ready in the van. Is after getting ready fully, I would sit in the van, stare myself in the mirror, and he was very fond of jazz music. मैंने जिंदगी में कभी नहीं सुना. So and now I have a big playlist of jazz music, and I know of a lot of jazz music. So I would play for at least 15 minutes. I would play a lot of jazz music back to back. There was a playlist I had created. I would stare at myself in the mirror, and I would say, no, you're not going to try and be Sam. This is Sam. That person in the mirror is Sam. So just walk out of the van being Sam. Don't take the pressure of how to imitate Sam, be Sam. So they were always away from Sam. I would just spend that, it was like a meditative time for me. So that comes with, I was seeing the whole look in the mirror. It's the uniform, it's the mustache, it's the eyes, it's the everything put together. So all of that in totality just gives you that little help to believe that you're that character. Before that, of course, you're in the process and always in the headspace कि अच्छा यार ये मुझे करना है, I have to be like this, be like. But once you wear it is when you can have this little meditative process, and it's very subjective to actors. But for me at least, that is when I start to say that okay, I am that person and I don't have to be that person. So that way it really helps me a lot. Like after I've put in like the costume on and the makeup and the hair and everything is done, that's when I can truly say that to myself that okay, this is now I'm that guy. I'm that guy.
Talking about looks, and this question is not directly related to the movie, but what's happening here? Like, have you taken No Shave November
Why
really
have I
seriously?
become a
But we love what we are
bear?
seeing. But what is the story behind this look? Oh my god! Yeah, like
Yeah, I know.
literally, you will get it. Like if there's an award, you would definitely bag it.
Yeah. No, I promise you, this is not laziness, but this is for a film that I'm shooting right
Okay.
now. It's called Chhawa. It's based on Chhatrapati Sambhaji Maharaj,
Okay.
who was Chhatrapati Shivaji's son, and it's just for that. It's a look for that film which I'm shooting right now.
Insane! Wow.
Also, Vicky, we've seen that you're pretty family oriented in your posts across Instagram. So how does your family's opinion mold you? And what are their reactions to your hits and misses?
Their opinions always matter a lot to me because they give a lot of confidence to me. They give a lot of stability to me. When they say कि यार जो मन में आए ना, जो अच्छा लगे वो करो. They're not like, nobody in the family is like where we sit and have a group discussion that कि ऐसी एक script है, करूँ या नहीं करूँ. पर अगर वो discussion होता भी है करूँ या नहीं करूँ, the end line is that only.
If you want to do it, do it.
खाना खा, सो जा, सुबह उठ के भगवान का नाम ले, जो सही लगे कर दे. They are like very basic on that front. So that that confidence just gives you a lot of like grounding. And of course the hits and the misses, they always are like कि अच्छा यार हाँ चल गई, they're very happy. नहीं चली, they are still happy कि हाँ यार फिल्म अच्छी थी, नहीं थी, अच्छा ये लगा हाँ ऐसी हो सकती थी. And then we just like we are on to the next discussion. It's not like the success is celebrated a lot and the failure is, you know, there's a big sorrow in the house. There's nothing like that. But they get very excited equally. Like my mom and dad say that we have to watch the movie at least thrice so that we can concentrate on the movie now. So पहले 2-3 दफा तो they're just happy just seeing me on the screen and they're happy with the character. So but otherwise it's just like, you know, it's your ground zero. It's your axis. Like एक था ना कि सबका एक center होता है. So that's my center. Yeah.
But you don't like keep track of box office numbers and all of that, because
No, of
everyone
course I
knows
do.
very famously that, you know, Katrina is very, very well versed with the business side of things. Everyone talks about how well
No,
she
but
does
it's
numbers.
that, you know, that is one thing also that comes with a lot of experience also. मुझे उस बात की समझ ही अभी आनी शुरू हुई है. You know, पहले तो जो मौके मिलते थे वही उसी में मैं खुश था कि अब वो मौके कितना कमा रही है and all of that मेरा दिमाग ही नहीं जाता था कि मुझे तो मौका मिल गया अपना काम दिखाने का, उसी पे फोकस था. But now, of course, because it's a show business also, you do want that, okay, there's a producer who spent a lot of money to make this film. And you would want him to earn profits out of it. So you, of course, keep a track on that, and you're kind of wanting that the film should do well monetarily also. So box office, of course, it matters a lot. At the end of the day, what gives you peace of mind is that yes, the people should resonate with the film. But right now, I think it's hand in hand that if people resonate with the film, it does the numbers. If they don't resonate with the film, it doesn't do the numbers.
Okay, on a lighter note, if you had to make a show reel of your best moments so far on screen, what would you put in?
There would be so much for
देखो I'll self-indulge a lot. मैं तो पूरी पिक्चर ही लगा दूंगा. सभी देखो, मैं क्यों चूज करूँ, सारे देखो. But I think it would be some snippets from Masan for sure. The balloon sequence, दुख का खत्म नहीं होता. Then Razi, that sequence between me and Alia where, you know, he comes to know that she's a spy. That I found like was great writing. Udham, of course, the whole Jallianwala Bagh sequence I think will be one of the like most landmark sequences for me as an actor. Yeah, it was something else for me, and the whole opportunity to work with Sujit Da. But many मुझे अभी सोचने जाऊँ तो ये अलग एक session बन जाएगा. But like मनमर्जियाँ a day before we started shooting, because I got to know, we got the narration of the film a day before we started shooting. मैंने बाल नीले कर लिए थे. Yeah, he just said कि तू ये hair style कर ले, अमृतसर आ जा. तो I knew it's like a love triangle. I knew कि ये पंजाब का, he's a carefree guy and he's a DJ and everything. I didn't know what dialogues क्या है, क्या बोलने वाले हैं, क्या करने वाले हैं. हाँ, so वो रात में बहुत डर गया था. मैंने कहा ये तो बाल भी मैंने कर लिए, तो कोई और काम मिलेगा भी नहीं. But then it taught me something कि यार कि that night I remember I couldn't sleep. And Anurag sir, because he knew me as an AD also and everything, so he was like, ये लड़का बेचारा परेशान हो गया, डर गया. So he just said, trust me, you just be the character. And that's what I told myself that night. कि यार अभी ना, I don't know what the dialogues are. I don't know what he's gonna make me do. I just need to know who this DJ Vicky Sands is, and I will go have fun, surrender myself fully. That for me was the biggest learning as an actor I could get for myself. That changed the game for me for all my future films after that. That you just have to empty yourself, come and start learning again. And that really helped me in every film. So that will be like very special. That film will be very special. And I was so glad that I got the narration last minute. I was so scared, and that whole thing happened. So, but there are many moments in films like Sam maybe, but I'll talk to you after the release.
What does your chill scene look like?
My chill scene? Oh, ये ऐसी बातें कर. Lots of sleep. Like, and I have no limit.
Okay.
Like, yeah.
That would be the whole day then.
Yeah, that can be the whole day, but I sometimes tend to wake up like by afternoon तो उठ ही जाऊँगा. But उठ के आराम से watch TV with Katrina, have good food where there's no dieting, nothing, and just good food, music चलाता हूँ, TV देखता हूँ, shower in the evening. So it's like by the time like it's 8 o'clock in the evening, you feel कि हाँ अब कुछ करते हैं. You know, till 8 o'clock is just rest. So that catch up with like some old friends, college friends, जिनको मैं नहीं मिल पाता हूँ. So we make a plan together कि चले यार घर पे आ जाओ, we'll chill and all. So that kind of a plan, like just like really like कोई मेहनत नहीं करनी कि मुझे उठ के यहाँ से चला दो, मैं नहीं कर रहा आज. So it's just chill and eating good food.
One last question, Seva.
Yeah, and speaking of music, like, you know, we, as such by the Punjabi dancing munda here, we've seen you, you know, dance to a lot of Punjabi songs on your Instagram and they've become a sensation. So what is it about Punjabi songs that attracts you so much, and do you have a current number that you're tripping on?
Punjabi music is a part of me, and it's not recent. It's since I was in school. Me and Sunny, my brother, Punjabi music was always the music which we would shut our doors, lock ourselves in the bedroom, and we would dance with like loud music. Punjabi music was always that. Back in the day when we did not have this streaming and internet and all of that, you could only get music like on cassettes and CDs. Our thing of like, so we used to go to our native village in Punjab every year during summer vacations. Our biggest thrill of going there would be कि यार वहाँ ढाबे पे जाके ना उन लोग सीडियाँ बेचते थे जहाँ पे they would compile the biggest hits of the year.
Right.
That is how you would get that music.
Right.
हमें ये होता था कि मुझे वहाँ जाके वो ढाबे से सीडी लेनी है क्योंकि म्यूजिक बॉम्बे तक पहुँचता नहीं था वो बिकॉज इंटरनेट नहीं था ना कि वैसा कि स्ट्रीमिंग इंटरनेट नहीं था. So me and Sunny would be like कि यार वहाँ अभी तक गए नहीं है हम लोग ने वो सीडी नहीं ली है जो वो बर्न करते थे अपने लोकल स्टोर इस पे कंप्यूटर पे और फिर वो 50, 100, 75 गाने होते थे and then we would just the whole 1 month we would just keep listening to अच्छा ये these are the latest Punjabi songs. So that's just part of me, my DNA, and that is something that it just puts me in a good mood. Like sometimes I would wake up in the morning and I would just for breakfast also there's some Punjabi music going on and in the car. Now there are like some amazing artists that have really come up. There's Karan Aujla, there's Diljit always. I love Gurdas Maan Sahab also, he's like a legend. And Sidhu Moosewala.
Taste also?
Punjabi.
Yeah, a little bit. Like she doesn't like mind, and she enjoys also sometimes. Like her, at least I've converted her gym playlist.
Oh, nice.
Her gym playlist has been converted.
Full energy.
हाँ, अब वो पंजाबी हो चुका है.
Right. So now we have a set of fun, basically a fun game kind of thing. I'll
Okay.
show you a few pictures and
Right.
you will have to caption from your Instagram.
Huh.
Yes, and you will have
Tell us
to,
the situation.
the situation and you have to caption that.
Like the story behind it.
Yeah.
Got it. 96, 97. So this is my school annual day function, and I would take part in every annual day for dance competitions.
You are always the dancer, na?
मैंने बहुत किया है स्टेज पे डांस बहुत किया है मैंने एंड आई रिमेंबर इसमें दिख नहीं रहा है बट दिस वाज माय फेवरेट शर्ट फ्लोरेसेंट ग्रीन black pants and this bandana.
My God, you
And
clearly remember.
yeah, no, I remember this, and I remember their names also, all these guys. But sweet days, yeah. This was just like प्यारे दिन थे, बड़ा मजा आता था. इसमें actually एक बार the first time I was on stage for a school annual day, my pant belt had come off and it was falling all over.
Oh shit!
So, yeah, हाँ सही में पहला performance ही legendary दिया था मैंने.
Right. So this is the second.
This is I think last year during Christmas me and Katrina had made a trip to Rajasthan.
This is in Rajasthan.
This is in Rajasthan in like 2 hours away from Jaipur. A property, beautiful property. We spent some time there.
Right. Okay. This is a very special, adorable picture.
This यार ये तो emotion है एक, है ना?
Exactly.
ये तो this is सुकून, this is home where
Do you
This
get to
chunky.
do that regularly?
नहीं अभी काफी दिन हो गए ये नहीं हो पाया.
अभी तो अच्छा भी लगेगा करने में.
मुझे अच्छा लगेगा पता नहीं उनको कैसा लगेगा. I hate to give Champi. I love taking it.
Last.
This is Masan, yeah. This is just, you know, my most favorite days of film set were Masan because कोई डर ही नहीं था. You know, and it was like a college project कि हमें पता ही नहीं था पिक्चर आएगी भी कि नहीं बाहर. हम बना रहे थे बस कि हम खुश थे कि यार मौका मिल रहा है और इतनी गरीबी में बना रहे थे ना कि मतलब सच में like you know remember the opening sequence of Richa Chadda where she's gone to a lodge with a boyfriend. We were staying in that room.
Like seriously.
It was not a set. that was the room where Shweta, the girl who was opposite me,
yes.
Shweta Tripathi, that was her room. And she was thrown out of her room and we were just chilling like उसके बगल वाला कमरा मेरा था, वो लॉज में ही रह रहे थे हम. और मतलब वो वैसे बनी थी फिल्म एंड यू नो और एक ही दिन आई रिमेम्बर हमारे पास स्टडी कैम आया था. हमें लगा था हम अवतार बना रहे हैं, इतने अमीर हो गए. सो उस दिन हमने कहा कि कोई बैठ के एक्टिंग नहीं करेगा, सब चलेंगे. आज स्टडी कैम आया है. सो दीज वर स्पेशल डेज. इट वाज लाइक कॉलेज प्रोजेक्ट. अपार्ट फ्रॉम रिचा एंड संजय सर, इट वाज एवरीबॉडीज फर्स्ट फिल्म. एवरीबॉडीज फर्स्ट फिल्म.
Oh wow.
सो इट वाज वेरी स्पेशल. लाइक इट वाज लाइक जो मन में आया करो, जो अच्छा लगे, जो ठीक लगे करो, कोई टेंशन नहीं.
और एक लास्ट प्लीज. This is adorable.
This is I think last year, no, this year, Katrina's birthday. This is this year, yeah. Katrina's birthday. We had gone to Maldives with a group of friends, and yeah, there was a beautiful sunset we spent together.
Beautiful picture, beautiful subject.
Yeah,
Everything.
I'm a mountain person. She's a sea person.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. इसने अभी तक माउंटेन नहीं देखा, मैं सी देखे जा रहा हूँ.
You bring her a happy wife, don't bring I bring her
Exactly, exactly. तो मेरी पानी से दोस्ती चल रही है.
Thank you, great.
Thank you, Vicky. Thank you for your time. Always a pleasure interacting with you. Really, really looking forward to the film. All the best for it. And here's hoping to see you soon.